Today, I want to talk to you about 4 things that you will not learn in a textbook. That's coming up. Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which is the place that you want to be to practice and improve your English skills, especially if you want to learn things that you might not find in a textbook. Because today I want to talk to you about 4 different things that you're not likely to learn in a textbook because when people want to learn another language, I think it's very common that they use a textbook to learn and study grammar or build their vocabulary, but you're not going to learn everything about a language, especially when you're talking about things that might be a little more informal, that are more casual, that you possibly might hear in everyday conversation. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is just playing around with the language and really creating new words. That's right. In English, I think it's fair to just create new words, especially when you're talking about using prefixes and suffixes. Let me give you a few different examples, and I'm going to use some suffixes. Let's start with the suffix able. If you use this suffix, what it means is that you are able to do something, like you are capable, or perhaps there's some water and you want to know if it's drinkable. But you can play around with it and perhaps use it in different ways that people in certain areas might understand. For example, I used to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and a form of public transportation was the BART. It was like their metro system. It stands for Bay Area Rapid Transit, but people would just say the BART. Like, oh, how are you going to get into the city? I'm going to take the BART. Now, if there was a situation and I wanted to go somewhere and I was not sure what I needed to do in order to get there, did I have to take a bus? Might I have to take a taxi? Or could I take the BART? Maybe I would ask somebody and say, hey, is it BARTable? Am I able to use the BART in order to get there? Now, this is, it's not a word that you're going to find in the dictionary, but I was taking this, the name of the metro system. You can add that suffix and really kind of create this new word. And if you were to ask somebody in San Francisco if some location is BARTable, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about. Let's look at one more suffix, which is ish. We use ish to say that something is kind of like something else or similar. For example, colors. I think it's very common to say that something is like this other color, like, oh, it's purple-ish. It's kind of like that. But we can use this informally. You could actually just use it just as the prefix. You don't really need to say it. You don't need to connect it to another base word. Maybe you're asking somebody, oh, is this person really good at football? And you could say, well, ish. They're kind of good. So again, you may hear people use this informally. They're not going to attach it to another word. If they want to say something is kind of like something else, they may just say ish. Something else that you may not learn in textbooks, which I think is very important, is learning English outside of American English or British English. And I think it's very useful nowadays because English is a world language. I think it's very helpful to learn other English varieties. But most textbooks are going to be written based on like standard American English or standard British English, but I think it's very useful and relevant to learn other English varieties and learn how they use the English language. I'll give you an example. In India, I learned that people will use the word prepone. And when I first heard this, I was like, prepone? What is that? Well, typically, I think people may be familiar with the word to postpone something. If you want to postpone something like a meeting, you're going to push it off and do it later. If you want to prepone something, it means that you're going to do it earlier. So you might say, okay, let's prepone the meeting. Let's have the meeting earlier. And when I found this out, I was like, that is awesome. I love that. It's very helpful to learn different English varieties, and often that's not something you're going to find in many textbooks. Something else you may not learn in a textbook is mirroring. And this, I think, is very useful when it comes to speaking and listening, because what mirroring is, it's when you repeat a few of the words that you hear. So if you're having a conversation and I'm listening to somebody speak, I may repeat a couple of words to them. And I do this for several reasons. First, it shows that I'm paying attention to what they're saying and shows that I'm interested in the conversation. And second, it gives the other person an opportunity to provide some more information. That is mirroring. So perhaps we're having a conversation and you're talking about some party that you went to. And you say, oh, I went to this party last night. It was crazy. And I say, oh, it was crazy? I just repeat those 3 words. And then that shows that I'm listening to you. And it gives you an opportunity to tell me some more information and talk about, well, why it was crazy. It also helps the person who's listening pay attention to the conversation when you repeat a few of the words. So when you use mirroring in conversation, I think it's great to help keep the conversation going, but it's also something that a textbook may not talk about, because when you're going through a textbook, depending on the type of textbook it is, you may not really have any speaking activities. So mirroring is very important when it comes to speaking and listening, and it's something that I would encourage all of you to try. The 4th thing that you're probably not going to learn from a textbook is confidence. And confidence, I think, is so important when it comes to speaking. I think many learners out there, they want to practice speaking, but they might not have confidence in what they're saying, possibly because they've only been studying using a textbook. So when it comes to confidence, you really need to practice. And this goes pretty much for just about anything. Think about a sport. The more you practice a sport, the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to have in your abilities. The same goes for language. If you have to do something like give a presentation. If you're going to give a presentation, it's very important that you practice and practice and practice some more, because the more you practice, the more confidence you're going to have that you're going to give an excellent presentation. So that's why I think it's very important to actually be engaged in a conversation and practice your speaking, because the more that you do that, the more confidence you're going to have in your speaking abilities. You're going to have more confidence that you are using the right grammar, that you're using the appropriate vocabulary, and that you're speaking clearly and using the correct pronunciation. The more you practice, the more confidence you're going to have, and a textbook may not really help you with that. But something that will help you build your speaking confidence is taking the interactive English speaking course called Speak Up. This is a speaking course that is designed to help you speak clearly, speak confidently, and speak effectively. And each week what we do, there's a different topic, and we're going to have a lot of different discussion questions about that topic, do different speaking activities. We'll break into small groups, which means you'll have more opportunities to speak. And we'll work on your pronunciation as well. It's a little bit of everything. All of it is designed to truly help you improve your speaking fluency. You can check out the link down below in the description if you'd like to learn more about the Speak Up course, learn more about the schedule, the price. Check out that link. It's down in the description. I hope that you found this lesson useful, and I'm not saying that you should stop using textbooks. Textbooks can be very helpful. I just want you to understand that when it comes to learning a language, that you may not learn everything from a textbook. There are different things that you can do and that you should do to truly improve your fluency skills, such as taking the Speak Up course. Check out that link down below in the description. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to mention it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.